off the screen, so if you want to just fill in wherever. You're interpreting for her? Okay. Okay, so once everybody gets in, the judge will come out and begin the ceremony. At the end, we will pass out your naturalization certificates. The only thing you have to do when you get home is sign your new name, okay? I'm taking up. If you need to put your purse down, you can just let it right down. We got it. And so we will add one.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is certainly going to be a unique but still memorable ceremony. My name is Aaron Goodstein. I'm one of the federal judges here in Milwaukee. And for me, it's a real privilege and honor to be able to administer the oath of citizenship to each of you. While we wish your families could be with you, we've done the next best thing we could by way of technology. There's a camera at that end of the room. Wave, your families are watching and they'll be able to, they'll be able to see you. We start out the ceremony by introducing a representative of the Immigration and Naturalization.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Carrie Marker, and I am the designated officer of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services at Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This afternoon, Your Honor, I have a motion for the admission to United States citizenship of 8 applicants for naturalization here present in this room, including 8 applicants who are motioning the court for a legal name change. Each of the applicants has been examined by an officer of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Each applicant has been found to be a person of good moral character who has resided in the United States for the period of time required by the statute. Each has been found to be favorably disposed to the good order and happiness of the United States. And each is familiar with the history of the United States, the principles of the Constitution, and form of government of the United States. No objection to their admission has been found. Therefore, Your Honor, I respectfully move that each of the applicants here present be admitted to United States citizenship, and that the court grant the motion for name changes for those applicants who have requested it upon taking the oath of allegiance as required by the statute.
Thank you. For name change will be granted. You're about to take the oath of allegiance to the United States. But before you do so, I've been asked to explain the meaning behind the words, because the oath is more than just words, and it has 2 parts. In the first part, you will absolutely and entirely renounce allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty. After you take the oath, you will owe all of your allegiance to the United States. The natural allegiance you have had up until this time will be destroyed completely, as if it had never existed. However, even though you're giving up the former allegiance to the country of your birth, this does not mean that you have to also give up those traditions, culture, and heritage. One of the great things about the United States is that so many people of diverse cultures and traditions are living together. That's why the United States was once referred to as the great melting pot. However, I like to use a different metaphor. I like to refer to the United States as potluck. In other words, it's each culture contributes its own traditions and culture and food to the success of the United States, especially the food. To me, food brings everyone together. So, and at this ceremony, we have new citizens from, I think it looks like 7 different nationalities. I'm going to read off, and I'd like you to raise your hand so we know where you're from and wave at the camera, wave at your family. Bhutan. Okay, wave at the camera. Congo, Kinshasa. Costa Rica. Dominican Republic. El Salvador. Okay. Laos. Laos? Missed that? Okay. Peru. Okay. Boy, I wish we had time to talk about all the food too from those countries. But if any of you are unwilling or unable to renounce your allegiance to the country of your birth, if you do not want to do that, you have to raise your hand now and we'll dismiss your petition for citizenship. Good, no hands. Now let's move to the second part of the oath. There you swear to support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. The Constitution was adopted by the founders of this country who came from many lands, mainly from England at that time. After obtaining their independence from England, they wrote the Constitution, in which they attempted to guarantee to themselves, their children, their children's children, certain rights that they had not enjoyed under English rule, such as freedom of worship as they chose, freedom to speak, freedom from imprisonment without fair trial, and the opportunity to work and acquire property. The Constitution is an amazing document when you think about it, where these principles our forefathers expressed over 200 years ago remain basically unchanged, although there have been some additions known as amendments. The first 10 amendments, known as the Bill of Rights, were adopted at the same time as the Constitution. Several subsequent amendments were the result of struggle and sacrifice, such as the 14th Amendment, which provided civil rights to all persons. That was enacted in 1868 following the Civil War. In 1870, the 15th Amendment was adopted, and that gave all persons, regardless of race, color, or prior servitude, the right to vote. In fact, this past August, on August 26th, we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. It took our country 100 years to recognize that women have the right to vote. Well, we finally got it right, didn't we? By taking your oath, you join the citizens of this country and promise to support and defend the principles stated in the Constitution and laws of the land, no matter how difficult that may be. After you've taken the oath, you'll be known as citizens of this country. You will be joined with the rest of us as the joint heirs, the great Americans who founded this country and wrote the Constitution. But do not be deceived or lulled into complacency by the words of the document. The Constitution only provides you with rights and privileges, not guarantees. In other words, you have the right to pursue happiness, but there's no guarantee you will find it. You have the right of equality of opportunity, but there's no guarantee you'll find riches. You have the right of freedom of speech, but this does not make you wise. You are promised liberty, but this does not mean you will find peace. Each day of your life is not going to be as memorable or happy as today. So it's up to you, to each and every one of you, to pursue these privileges, these rights, and hopefully you will find happiness, riches, wisdom, and peace. So I'm now about to administer the oath. I'll break it up into parts, and I want you to raise your right hand, and as best you can, repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any moral reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Okay, let's have a hand for our new citizens. Wave at the camera. Congratulations. You know, this is a remarkable day, one which I know you've all worked so hard to be here today. Citizenship in the United States is a glorious possession, representing the dreams and struggles of people for centuries, including my grandparents who became citizens just like you. I'm going to show you something. What I'm holding up is my grandfather's certificate of citizenship. Looks nothing like yours. Yours has your digital picture on. It's great. I wish my grandfather's picture was on here, but this certificate is dated September 16th, 1912. And it shows that my father was 3 months old at the time. Now, my grandfather felt that this was more than just a piece of paper to be thrown in the drawer, never to be seen again. So he passed it on to his children. My father, I guess, was the lucky recipient. And then I inherited it. And since I do these ceremonies, I thought I'd have it framed, and it's in the wall in my office. Bring it out for every ceremony. And I'm going to pass it on to my children, and I hope they keep up to tradition, because I know that our form of government was established and it's been maintained by generations of struggle, suffering, and sacrifice. I know my grandparents had to go through that to get here. And, you know, these freedoms are not handed to us on a silver platter. But freedom is not something once achieved that will last forever, because freedom is not automatic. It must be preserved by those who, like you, are willing to work for it. And one of the primary ways we can maintain our system of government, as it has been, is by exercising your voice. And by that, I mean voting. I'm always amazed that having a voice in our government is such an important privilege, yet so few people go to the polls to vote. They let others govern the country by default. So I want you to exercise your right to vote. This is a presidential year, and you still have time. You can go to the polls on election day. Go there with an ID and some proof of residence, like an electric bill or something, and you can register and you can vote. And I urge you to do that. And if you have children, take your children to the polls, because to them that sends a message of what an important privilege this is. So I call upon you, like my grandparents, pass on the meaning behind this certificate to your children and to their children. Tell them to cherish this freedom so that our nation may continue as it has in the past. However, as former President John F. Kennedy once said, freedom has many difficulties and democracy is not perfect. You are not joining a perfect society. The United States has its faults, but we know it. Except for Native Americans, all of us came from somewhere else, but there's still so much bigotry and intolerance for those who are different. Despite being one of the richest countries on earth, we still have so much poverty and homelessness. Despite providing education and legitimate opportunities, we still have too many drugs, too much crime, too much violence. But we're trying to reduce and eliminate these things. And in that effort, we ask you to join. There are many civic and charitable organizations that help this country reach its ideals. John F. Kennedy also said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And you can start right in your local neighborhoods, helping to improve this country. Okay, we're now at the conclusion of the ceremony, so let me again offer my sincerest congratulations on your becoming citizens. And with that, the ceremony is concluded, so we'll wait for the further instructions because, as you know, there are always instructions.
Thank you. Okay, congratulations, everyone. I'm going to pass out your naturalization certificates. When you get home, take out a nice pen and sign the new name right on the line of your naturalization certificate, okay? And then once I give you your certificate, you're free to leave and enjoy your day. Mayor Lynn? Yes. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Valerie? Congratulations. And is this your husband? Hi, Goy? Congratulations. Thank you. David? Yes. Congratulations. You'll sign here. Thank you. Okay, Estella? Thank you so much. Congratulations, thank you. Sir. Juan? Congratulations.